Thank you so much for having me here, Pooja.
You're most welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Uh, Real quick intro on myself. My name, actually, quick nahi, thoda lamba hai because of the age factor, but whatever. Uh, I started I've been a founder all my life. I started my first company in 2004, sold it in the US market in 2009, moved back to India in 2009 to start Maidala, which was an internet company. So I've been in the startup ecosystem since 2009. Scaled that across 200 cities in India, UAE and Dubai, UAE and Thailand. After that, having been in the ecosystem for so long and an ecosystem that's given me so much, I felt it was time to do something that was more than just selling coupons. And so I moved on to doing SheCapital, which is a venture fund. The name is fairly obvious what we do. Unlike Maidala, where I had to explain what it did, SheCapital obviously invests behind diverse founders and diverse teams, which means you have to have one female co-founder. We've done 14 investments to date out of the fund, and with the likes of Elementary, Baker's Dozen, Clovia, which we sold to Reliance on an 800 crore exit. Those are all the investments, some of the investments that the fund has done to date. We also run a huge event for female founders that happens every year in October in Goa. Tushar, all yours.
Tushar?
Hello. Yes. Thank you, Pooja, for having us here. I'm Tushar Gandotra. I am the founder of X42 Venture Studio. I'm also the founder of JK Angel Network. Have been a techie in the beginning of my life. I started my first business in Dubai in 2013. Have been a marketer since then. And then I got an opportunity of building an angel network. It was a tier 2, tier 3 city angel network, so it was difficult for us to make them realize that startup as an asset class is also an interesting opportunity along with the real estate and gold. It can probably give you better returns. So a venture studio is basically a co-founder model where we take very niche startups or niche ideas and take them from zero to ground zero. We are the incubator, accelerator, and VC for the startup. So far, we have done 4 portfolio companies. We are in process of 2 more in the venture studio, and we are in process of doing 2 investments in JK Angel Network as well.
All right. Thank you so much for the great introduction. Let's start. So we are going to be talking about some real world problem here with venture capital and with the D2C industry. So I would want to address something like call as the biggest misses that. So with to Anisha first, every VC has a story about the one that got away. Like you say that the one that got away. Can you share a deal that you regret? Not like regret passing on. Like if you have a deal that you feel that was not going on well, or what were the biggest misses that a VC or a founder, when they come to you, what are the biggest misses that they have? What are the gaps that's there?
Yeah, having been in the ecosystem so long, that FOMO stuff doesn't happen, okay? And I refuse to give in to that. So I don't, unfortunately, have any stories like this. We tell founders we take a little longer to invest. We are not like, oh, unlike other VCs, hum 2 hafte mein ye wo. We don't. We take our time to invest in everything because we want to be sure of the people we back. We like working with the founders that we have. We love the teams that we have, and we want to be able to give it our wholeheartedness. That being said, Baker's Dozen had come to us a long time ago. The minute I met the founders, Aditi and Sneh, loved them. I'm sure a lot of you have had their products. Phenomenal team, and I really wanted to do the deal, But our check size was small. They were looking for 20 crores, or even as a VC. And I'm sorry, guys, I talk in English, so if that's, not your jam, I'm sorry, but that's how it is. Hamari औकात ही नहीं थी. Our check size only goes up to 8 crores from the first fund. And so we told them, okay, listen, we really want to partner with you guys on this deal. How do we make it happen? And I was salivating over this deal. And it just, unfortunately, we couldn't do it. We got priced out of the market. So that was a miss for us. The good thing is, they came back to us in 6 months. So I really believe if you love something, set it free.
It comes back.
It comes back to you. It's meant to be yours.
Yeah.
Because they came back about 6 to 8 months later, and now they're a part of our portfolio where we were able to do a smaller check size into the team. So this FOMO thing doesn't happen because really if you love something, set it free. वो आ जाता है. In some ways, if you're meant to be with them,
Yeah.
a founder-investor relationship is very much like a marriage. If it's meant to be, it will happen.
happen,
And if it doesn't happen, it's probably for the best. So just look at it that way, and that's all it's meant to be.
It's a very good example.
And that's so true. So you are absolutely correct when you say a relationship of a founder and investor is like a marriage. And if it's a bad marriage, then both of the parties are screwed. So I am a semi-VC. I am not a 100% VC. I don't act like a 100% VC. Our deals are not the same as a VC. Our check size are different. Our skin in the game is different. There was one company, I don't want to name it. The founder was a friend of a friend. We used to know each other. Now that's a unicorn. Got an opportunity to invest in it. I really don't remember why I didn't. And I have regretted that since the day I said, no, I'll not invest. And that's something which I realized that, eventually I realized that a lot of VCs and people like us, we have to see the FOMO to feel it. Then first is the FOMO, then comes how you connect with the founder. So if you don't get the FOMO, you will not be able to get that interest in the founder to take the next step. So FOMO is probably one of the important aspects. Although everybody says FOMO is not good, we don't invest in FOMO, but I think it's just like if you see somebody like a beautiful woman or a handsome man and you say, oh yeah, I want to speak to her, I want to speak to him. And then you realize that, okay, we are all normal people, so it's good to have friends. I think in the long run, if it's supposed to happen, it will happen. If it is not supposed to happen, then probably some other time you will get some other opportunity. After that, I have gotten some interesting opportunities to invest in, and we did on a personal basis. I invested in few companies on a personal basis just to learn the trick of the trade, just to understand how the investing works. I have been an operator for a long part of my life, but becoming a VC was, I'll tell you an interesting story. So I asked somebody that I want to become a VC. How do I learn? He said, how much money do you have? I said, X amount. Put it in the companies, lose it, then only you will become a good VC. I have lost a lot of money investing into companies, and I think that is how I got hooked to it, that it's a fun game, it's an interesting opportunity with high rewards and a lot of risk. And probably I have a good risk appetite, that is why I stayed.
Do you agree to that, Anisha? That you have to lose to become a VC?
I'm really sorry, Rama Sadarni, I can't help it. No, I don't agree with this. I actually don't agree with that advice at all. So I was a founder all my life. I do believe one thing. I think Shark Tank has overhyped the investing world. Okay, एक time था about 6 years ago that everybody wanted to become a founder. जिससे बात करते थे everybody, because everybody was seeing a Vijay Shekhar, everybody was seeing the stars and unicorn founder stories come out. Everybody wanted to be that, right? I think what has happened now is everybody wants to be on this side and thinks. I get even people who interview with us for analyst positions. If you ask them why do you want to get into the VC world or why do you want to intern in the VC world, everybody's like, I want to analyze deals. You know, I want to look at deals. I think I'll be good at it. ऐसे नहीं होता, you know, I mean, I think an operator, by the way, makes for a great VC, okay? And the reason being that you've come from the trenches. There's a stat that shows that the highest performing funds in Silicon Valley, which is the most advanced VC ecosystem, are operator-led. So I think you already had all the foundation. I already have all the foundation. That's what I'd like to believe. But I think it's become so trendy now to want to just invest,
Invest, yes.
you know, without knowing the basics of it. So anybody who wants to join our fund as an intern or an analyst, I tell them, बहुत घसीटे हैं. It's not like the only thing you're doing is saying reject, accept. मैं इतने डालूंगा. You're not Shark Tank people sitting there. There is so much more to give out money. You have ownership of somebody else's money that you're taking. We have LPs, we have investors that are coming in. A lot of times I get, you know, by way of SheCapital and being, you know, a female-focused fund, a lot of people will come, this is my startup idea, I'm a female. And I'll be like, okay.
Okay, yeah.
And then they're like, so will you now invest? That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You know, you have a plan, and I'd love for you to talk more about it because I'm sure you kind of graduate them
I'll add
through
on
this,
to
right?
it. So when you say you are a VC or an investor, by the way, there are more founders in India. Everybody wants to become a founder. Everybody wants to launch a unicorn. Everybody dreams of launching a unicorn. Everybody tells every VC that, okay, I am going to be the next unicorn, even though we have only 105
Which
unicorns
is
in India.
great. I think that foresight is great, but at the same time,
Absolutely. So the problem is every founder who becomes a founder, they think VC has a lot of money. Why are they not investing? Probably they don't know. So I think there is a gap in understanding how the VC ecosystem work. They think that, okay, if it's a VC, he or she can throw like 100 crores just for the sake of it. He has all the money in a pocket. Or like
yeah,
you said.
you know, so I think Pooja had asked us this, where do you get your oddest pitches? It's one of the questions you were going to ask, so I'll just shortcut that. You know, I mean, oddest pitches, by the way, I have deep appreciation for every founder because हम दोनों founder बन के आए हैं. मुश्किल है यार founder बनना, you know, and working through it.
100%.
Anybody who's been a long-term founder knows running a business is goddamn hard. Making a profit, recruiting people, there's so much to it. So I have deep appreciation, so I won't make fun of anybody's pitches because I think if you started out, you're already rock solid. But what I do think is odd is, if somebody comes to know I'm a VC, I mean, I've had people, I'll be, you know, at an event in the bathroom, and if people come to know I'm a VC, उनको लगता है मैं जेब में पैसे लेके घूम रही हूँ. They'll start pitching, okay, now, so what? Or the funniest was, I was getting my global entry done at the US JFK airport, Abhi, so that they have the same thing as Digi Yatra. And so I was getting it done on the US side. And this is an American guy, पीछे इतनी भीड़ लगी हुई थी for global entry. And he's like, so you run SheCapital. Now SheCapital, it's pretty obvious. So he asked about startups. Then he started pitching his idea to me, which took about half an hour. पीछे से मुझे गालियाँ पड़ रही होंगी हम दोनों को. But I thought that was, you know what, I really needed my global entry. So I humored him, sat through those. So I think there are those funny instances in terms of.
I'm lucky that ways. Anybody who tries to pitch me randomly, if they realize who I am, I told them, no, I am not. And no, you are this one. No, I think all bald people look the same, so I'm not the same person. So I easily skip that conversation. Although I have been pitched in cafes, restaurants, movie hall once, and that's how I mean, I have survived all these conversations. And I prefer not to talk about it in a semi-professional manner. I need to see a lot of things before I even take a decision or talk about it. I need to see a lot of preparation from the people. If somebody is not prepared, that's a major turn off for me. But
exactly.
yeah, interesting opportunities.
Yeah, that being said, I love being pitched to. It's not something, so it's a weird dichotomy of it.
Yeah. So that gets me to like a follow-up question with this itself. Like, what qualities do any VC, or for now, like I want to ask you, what qualities do you look for in a founder when times get tough? Or when times even don't get tough, but what are the qualities that you particularly look for in founders, and how do you evaluate their ability to like pivot, adapt, or persist? So that is something that we want to know, that VCs founders में देखते क्या हैं कि आप लोग को क्या चाहिए founders से?
See, for me, preparedness is the first thing.
Yes.
How well do you understand the idea? How well have you seen the market? Have you understood the market? Have you understood the opportunity? I'm not talking about TAM, SAM, SOM. I'm talking about how well do you understand it. so many founders come to me, and I always tell them that if you want me to get involved, you have to prepare a business plan, and I don't want to see the business plan. I want you to prepare it, because when you are writing the business plan on a document, you ask yourself these questions on what is the status, what is the future, how I'm going to do this, am I going to be profitable, am I going to generate money? If you are not profitable on document, you can never be profitable in the actual world. So first step is to have that preparedness, then the resilience, then everything else happens. But if you are not prepared for the opportunity, then probably you are not the right person to become a founder or an operator. For me, that's probably the most important thing, preparedness. Everything else comes later. Preparedness basically shows how serious you are for this idea, and that seriousness basically brings you money. And that also helps you not to get VC money. If you understand the idea, if you know how you can make it profitable without any external capital, that's the best thing which can happen to a founder. You build a business which is generating good revenue without external capital. I was recently watching a Shark Tank episode. There is a brand which took 5 crores at 51% equity. Although everybody is congratulating them that, oh yeah, this is a fantastic deal, you are the highest amount of deal in Shark Tank, I really don't understand why an operator will lose the controlling interest in a company in the first game only. That means probably your end game is eventually to exit the company, you will sell it to somebody else and make money. Although that's not bad, that's how the business works. But I think that persistence, that the founder feel, the main essence of a founder is not to give up. Elon Musk says, I don't know how to give up. And that's how the journey happens. I think that's, you have something to add?
No, I do think, so one thing I just want to table is we don't look for degrees. We don't care what you've done, whether you're McKinsey, ex-McKinsey, whether you're, IIT, IIM. And the reason being, there's a saying, you look for your own kind. Okay, I've always been an average in my life. I'm very proud of it, because I think it's the law of averages. Up consistently badhte raho, that's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for people with grit, because the fact of the matter is entrepreneurial journeys are hard, okay? They are as hard as it can get is an entrepreneurial journey. So if you think and you want to take a leap, if you think it's going to be 100x hard, trust me, it's a lot more than that. On your deepest terms, I think we're just looking for people that have the grit and the ability to realize that they need to be realistic, pivot when they need to, and not, so we're looking for kind of flexible people that have the ability to also realize that, maybe there is a slight detour that I need to take to get to where I need to. You're not too preset in what you're looking to do. Other than that, you're just looking for your own kind. People who are interested in taking an idea that is, so you definitely need to have a great idea, but you also, we invest behind ideas and we invest behind founders. It's not one or the other. When there is a co-founder team, I will tell you that it's very important to see how the co-founders interact with each other. And I don't mean that at a pitch, both co-founders should be talking 50%, but as long as you see the inherent respect, because within teams, one of the most difficult things that is there, and you see a lot of co-founder divorces happening, it's very similar. That is something that we are very cognizant of. We want to see your interaction with your co-founder, what is the deep level of respect that you have for each other, because that is what is going to take the team forward, and the team forward is what is going to take the company forward. So those are things that we keep in mind when we're looking at it.
But are these VC opportunities only for like tier 1 cities? What about the non-metro startup cities? Do you think that there is a distinguishing in this India economic times right now that only tier 1 cities are getting these big fundings done from the VCs? Do you think it's a myth, or it's just that the people are just It's
I'm
like
going to
rumors
let
around.
Tushar talk about this because I know that he has been passionately doing Jammu Angels and other things. But
I'll,
I just want to say one thing on this,
please.
which is you have to understand हमारा ecosystem शुरू हुआ था tier 1 cities से, right?
Yes.
It's all a matter of aging,
Yeah.
okay? And what the responsiveness is. It's similar for female founders, by the way.
Yeah.
It's, you know, we're not far behind. It's not like they are any less. It's just the female founders entered the startup ecosystem a little
A little
later
later,
than.
yes.
Similarly, tier 2 and tier 3 founders have entered the ecosystem a little later. Does it mean they're any less? No. I mean, we've got some amazing founders that are, you know, from Bhopal and different places, you know, but it's not like they're lesser. Actually, they've raised more money. It's just they started a little later.
Yeah.
You know, so I actually think the next wave of unicorns is going to happen from there.
From the non-metro
Yeah, I think
from the
India's
non-metro
advantage
cities.
is that, you know, people look at scale as something that is a deterrent. India's advantage is that scale. And once we realize that, and founders realize that, okay, we can take that advantage and make it a global benchmark.
Yeah.
And take it, you know, just anywhere, which is, we're so easily able to scale from here.
Yeah, of course, India has
that is a
great,
big deal.
yeah, it has
I'll
great
let
potential.
Tushar talk about it because he's literally building that from ground up.
I'll give you an example. The movie industry that's based out of Mumbai, that doesn't mean all the actors are from Mumbai. So there are so many actors who migrated from their tier 2, tier 3 cities to go to Mumbai to chase the big dream. So all these, I mean, there are opportunities in the tier 1 city which not every tier 2 or tier 3 city has. That is, so when we say that tier 2 and tier 3 cities doesn't have opportunities, doesn't mean the founders are not skilled enough. They migrate towards tier 1 cities to go for better opportunities. But yes, because of the scale, there are better people who can get an opportunity in that tier 2, tier 3 city and build a sustainable business out of it. Sustainable, profitable, and probably cost effective as well. So it is, if you go to tier 1, it comes with its own challenges. But there are so many opportunities. So I am a founder of JK Angel Network, and I see a lot of students, a lot of new entrepreneurs, emerging entrepreneurs. They are interested in building something, and I think that all happened after Shark Tank. Nobody knew before. Nobody wanted to take the risk of becoming an entrepreneur or a startup founder in these cities because survival was a problem. Survival is still a problem in a lot of places. No opportunities. There are cities which close down after 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, no opportunities around. And a founder has to do a lot of things. So infrastructure is what is required in these tier 2, 3 cities. It is a long journey where we'll see these cities becoming hub of startups. Right now, everybody wants to migrate to a place where there are more opportunities, just the same way as a Bollywood. We'll get more so if we are able to get those opportunities in those cities, opportunity like mentorship, access to capital, in these cities, they don't have risk capital. So a person who, even if he wants to do a business, they don't have access to capital. They have a very small part of the money which probably they can take out and use it for the business, but the risk appetite is not there. So it is going to take some time to provide that infrastructure, to provide that mentorship. I am involved with a couple of founders in Jammu and Kashmir and in a couple of colleges in the state. And I see that they don't have access to a mentorship. Even if they have an idea, they don't know how to take it forward, how to build around it. Eventually, I think these problems will be solved using some online tools. YouTube has a lot of content now on how to do these things, how to build a product. But till the time these opportunities are not publicly available for everybody, that access is not there, it is going to take time. So these people will still be migrating. I am a migratory person. So I was born and brought up in Jammu. I came to Delhi. I have lived in Dubai. I have lived in US. and the exposure which I got in all these cities, I am confident I would never have been able to get the same exposure level in Jammu. I would never have been able to build a business. I'm a first generation entrepreneur. All my family are all government employees, IAS, KAS, professors, but nobody is an entrepreneur. So these opportunities are not there. Even the families, they don't want their kids to become an entrepreneur because of the risk which comes along. They want them to do sustainable jobs, probably join a government job. Every tier 3 person dreams of getting into a government job, uh, only because the risk appetite is not there, the access is not there, the opportunities are not there. There is nobody who's telling them, okay, we are there to support. If you can build, we will support. So it's our job as VCs or operators to help these people in these states to come forward to build something sustainable, build something interesting, and that is how we'll reach the 10 trillion economy which is supposed to happen. That's my take on it.
It was very brave of you to continue even after that.
All right, we can
Okay,
take.
I think that's a sign for us कि अब बंद करें, बहुत हो गया.
No, that's. I think it's a great conversation. Anyone has any questions for Anisha and Tushar? Over here, anyone looking for any advices for any pitches or any investments? I think everyone are good risk takers over here. They are all well versed.
It's morning time, they need their coffee, I believe.
All right, I think that's
All right.
it.
Thank you
Should
so
we
much.
just-
Concluding lines from both of you. Like, what is the India's culture? What's the cultural shift that India is seeing right now in terms of the investment and in with the founders? So just quick lines that what do you want to give away as like takeaway for everyone here?
Look, I've been in the ecosystem for a really long time, and now I've seen the shift, and I think it's best explained by a real quick story, so just bear with me. I was sitting next to somebody who, she was 86 years old, she was wearing black nail polish, and I said, Linda, you're wearing black nail polish? And she's like, if not now, darling, then when?
When?
And so I think this is very true for the ecosystem in India, the startup ecosystem. If you're at this event, if you're at this panel, means you're either looking to start up or you're in the process of raising funding. So my thing to you is, if not now, then when? Now is such a brilliant time to be doing this in India, to start up in India. And I say this to everybody. Starting up in India is like driving. Agar tum yahan kar sakte, you can do this anywhere in the world.
I agree.
So I think this is such a great ecosystem to be doing this. So if you're thinking about starting up, now's a brilliant time. You know, just take the plunge. Do have a solid idea. Don't start up just for the heck of starting up. Know that this is a long journey. It's not a sprint. It's actually a very, very long marathon. And so just make sure you have a sound idea, think it through, and then just start up. That's it.
That's great. Anisha,
I think the same. It's
Yes.
not a sprint, it's a marathon. So even if you don't get capital externally, if you can build a sustainable business, go for it. Money is not the only requirement to start a business. There are so many other factors which are needed. And money doesn't come just from the VC. It is always good to have revenue-driven model. But yes, she's absolutely right. Now is the time. There are so many opportunities coming up in India. Money is flowing. I think 2025 is going to be an interesting year for some interesting deals, some interesting companies to become unicorns, some interesting founders to start some business and probably reach a 10 million ARR and be happy about it. Now is the time.
so with this we have understand that you not only invest in just ideas, you're actually investing into people as well. And that's actually also helping the Indian economy. I'm sure the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities are all going to be doing great in coming future. But thank you so much for your time. It was a great session. A round of applause for our panelists. Okay, we have one question. Nidhi, there is one question here. Nidhi, can we have the mic there?
Hi. Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
My name is Rati Mamoria. I'm co-founder of a company from a tier 2 city. So my question is, I think, would be very basic, but that raises a concern for me and my team a lot of time. So since we are from tier 2 city, we do want to start up in the tier 1 cities. Now the question when it comes to venture capital is, do always all the venture capitalists and the investors look for innovation in the products, or the services that we provide are good enough, or the products are good enough to get the venture capital? Like, for example, I have a CRM product. We are a bespoke CRM solutions company. We provide digital marketing as well. Now, my question is, if I have a CRM product, a lot of people have CRM solutions in the market.
Yeah.
But is it good enough to get a venture capital, or can we take it for the expansion, or no? Is it always going to be innovation, which is very important for investors to look in, or we can start with the one that we have and we can scale up and expand that particular thing?
No, so I think you need to approach it a different way, and what any VC, so you have to understand VC भी किसी और का पैसा उठाते हैं, right? So what is the goal of VCs?
Right.
To maximize returns for our investors, right? So if you look at it, VCs always talk about scale. What's
Right.
the scale you're getting? Now, if you're talking about a CRM and you keep talking, and we'll take this offline,
Yeah.
but it has to have something that is going to help you as a competitive advantage to scale. Good
Yes.
enough is not enough
Okay.
for a VC.
Okay.
Okay? The reason a VC will invest behind you is you've got something that's so cutting edge or gets you to scale other than others. Otherwise, what is going to happen is your acquisition costs will always be competing with other people's acquisition costs.
Yes.
You will always be head-oning. And that is what every VC is trying to find. What is that one tipping point for anything, right? That is going to get you to be the largest or the biggest or an extreme. Agar aap extremely profitable ho, anyway I'm saying don't pick up VC money. He has been saying this again and again.
Yeah.
There are businesses that I think also this VC funding, Shark Tank has ruined it because everybody thinks I need to pick up funding.
Yes.
No, there are businesses, traditional businesses that are scaled enormously and not needed to pick up any money. You know, Haldiram is being case in point. And
Right.
then they'll need to raise now, if they get to the private markets, public markets only. Up kyun? Why don't pick up if you don't need to pick up?
Yeah.
But if you do pick up, VCs will always ask for that tipping point or that scale or high returns. How do we
Right.
maximize for our own investors as well? And we can talk about it more offline then.
Sure.
ठीक है?
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.